All right, let's jump right in. And today we're going deep into PBNs.
PBN?
Private blog networks.
Ah.
They're that tactic that some SEOs kind of whisper about.
Right.
And, nobody really wants to say that they're using them.
Yeah, it's a shady area for sure.
It is a shady area, and that's why we're here today, to take a deep dive into it.
Exactly.
So we have got a couple of different sources to help us kind of navigate this murky world of PBNs.
Yeah.
First up, we've got some marketing material straight from PBNLinks.io.
Okay.
And they sell PBN links.
Yeah, of course. And
Gotta love a good sales pitch.
they make it sound pretty enticing.
Right.
And pretty easy,
Yeah.
Get those rankings up.
Instant results, that's what they promise.
Right.
But there's always a catch.
There's always a catch.
And that's where our second source comes in, right?
Right.
We've got this article that really breaks down different PBN strategies.
Okay.
And it's a much more cautious approach, I'd say.
It digs into not just those potential benefits,
Yeah.
but also the risks.
Yeah, so we kind of have the sales pitch on the one hand.
Right.
And then the, cautionary tale on the other.
Exactly. A dose of reality.
Yeah. So I'm curious, are they really the secret weapon to success? Or are they this ticking time bomb
Yeah.
waiting to
Blow up your ranking.
blow up your rankings? Yeah.
It's a good question. I mean, let's start with the allure. Okay? The reason people are drawn to PBNs in the first place. So PBNLinks.io, they talk about the control you get over anchor text. You can get instant authority from aged domains and, of course, the potential for increased traffic and earning.
I mean, those benefits, those are real, right?
They are real,
Yeah.
but there it is. There's that. But
Yeah.
Google's not stupid.
Right.
They are actively trying to fight these manipulative tactics. And if they catch you, the penalties can be
Oh, yeah.
severe.
They can be really bad.
Yeah, it's like playing a game of hide and seek with the biggest, most sophisticated search engine on the planet.
Right. It's not a game you really want to be playing.
No, you don't want to mess with Google.
No. And PBNLinks.io, they seem very aware of this.
They do.
Because they talk a lot about features like low OBL and, traffic PBNs.
Right, trying to make it sound less suspicious.
Well,
like they're flying under the radar.
So can we just break down that jargon a bit? Because I
Yeah.
think that's helpful for people.
Absolutely.
So OBL, what is that?
OBL stands for outbound links.
Okay.
And so a high OBL means that a website is linking out to tons of other sites,
Oh, okay.
which can actually dilute the value of those links.
Okay.
Think of it like you have a fixed amount of link juice, right?
Yeah.
That you're trying to spread around. The more links you have, the less each individual link is worth.
So they're keeping the OBL low to kind of
Maximize the link juice.
maximize the juice going to your site.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's all about creating that illusion of,
Yeah.
organic, valuable links, not just some mass linking scheme.
Right.
Which is what Google hates.
Okay. And then what about traffic PBNs?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
How does that play into everything?
Because, a static website with no real visitors is going to raise red flags.
Yeah.
People's going to be like, wait a minute.
What's going on here?
Something's fishy. So by using PBNs that actually receive organic traffic,
Okay.
they're trying to make the whole network look more
Legitimate.
legitimate. Exactly.
That's
Like it's real websites with real users.
Yeah, it's all about creating that facade of
Authenticity.
authenticity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I guess that's what a lot of marketing is, right?
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah. But what I thought was really interesting was
Yeah.
the 5-year guarantee
Oh, yeah.
that they have.
Bold move.
It is a bold move.
5 years. Wow.
5 years. So they're saying that, if any of the links get removed,
Right.
they'll replace them for free.
Yeah.
5 years.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
In internet years.
It's like dog years, but internet years.
Right, exactly.
So, what's the catch?
Well, it's not so much a catch as it is an acknowledgement of the inherent risk.
Okay.
Right? PBNs they're a volatile game.
Yeah.
Even if they replace a penalized link, the damage to your website
Right.
might already be done.
Right.
Recovery can take a long time,
Yeah.
and there's no guarantee you'll fully bounce back.
So, buying links, there's that kind of, a lot of uncertainty there.
There is.
Yeah. But what about building your own PBN?
Right. So that's the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Our article outlines the process, right?
Yeah.
You got to find expired domains
Right.
with good authority. You got to set up hosting, diversify those IP addresses.
It's like a whole It's a lot.
It's a whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds...
It's not for the faint of heart.
No. Not for beginners.
Definitely not.
Sure.
It requires a much deeper level of technical expertise and resources than just buying links.
Right. So
You're essentially creating and managing multiple websites.
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah. So buying links, faster, maybe cheaper upfront,
Potentially. Yeah.
less control, higher risk,
Right.
building
We were
your own,
talking about, yeah.
more control, but
Massive time investment.
yeah, a lot of time, a lot of resources.
Commitment.
Yeah. So it's like, which gamble do you want to take?
It's a gamble either way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, kind of what we're getting at here
Yeah,
is, Google is actively fighting against PBNs,
they are.
and they can lead to these severe penalties. So is it even ethical to use them?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ethical dilemma because...
Because even PBNLinks.io, they say that they reject certain niches,
Right.
like illegal sites or sites with zero traffic.
Yeah, they have some standards, apparently.
So, I mean, it seems like even they recognize that there's potential for abuse.
They know it can be used for bad.
Yeah.
So they're trying to,
cover themselves a little bit.
yeah, cover themselves, but also, maybe appeal to a certain...
Right. A certain type of customer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at the core of it, it's about user experience, right?
Right.
Google's goal is to provide users with the most relevant,
Mhm.
trustworthy results.
Yeah.
And PBNs, by their nature, they manipulate those results.
Right.
Instead of authentic, high-quality content being rewarded, you've got these websites that are artificially boosted
Right.
by this network of
hidden links.
hidden links. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, it's like they work.
They do. But it's a question of
A question.
sustainability, right? And ethics. Because
Yeah.
Google's getting smarter
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. They're constantly evolving.
Their algorithms are constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So what works today
Right.
might be a liability tomorrow.
Yeah. And speaking of things that might look good on the surface,
Oh.
but maybe raise some questions upon closer inspection,
Uh-huh.
I noticed some interesting things that PBNLinks.io was saying.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like, they were talking a lot about how they use different content management systems, not just WordPress.
Interesting.
And they really emphasize the safety of their network.
Right.
And they're like, we're different.
We're special.
We're safer. We're more sophisticated.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to preemptively address those concerns.
Right.
Like, look, we know this is a bit shady, but trust us. We're the good guys.
Right, exactly. But it kind of makes you wonder,
That
like,
does.
it's like, what are they really saying?
What are they not saying?
And what are they not saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Always read the fine print.
Yeah, always read the fine print.
Right.
And so I think this raises a really important question for you, the listener.
Yeah.
When you're evaluating any SEO service,
Mm-hmm.
especially ones that operate in this, kind of gray area.
It's a gray area, yeah.
You've got to be skeptical and
Absolutely.
you've got to read between the lines and ask the right questions.
Don't just take their word for it.
Yeah.
Do your own research.
Yeah.
Understand the potential downside.
Right, because what might seem like a quick win in the short term
Right.
could end up costing you
Could cost you big time.
big time in the long run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down to your goals, right?
Right.
As a website owner, are you trying to, get this quick spike
Right.
in rankings?
Yeah.
Or are you in it for the long haul?
Right. Yeah.
Building something sustainable.
Because like you said, if Google catches you,
Those quick wins, they could disappear overnight.
overnight, exactly.
Yeah, and it's funny because PBNLinks.io, they even say, our links are even better than guest posts.
Wow.
It's a pretty bold claim.
It is bold.
I
I mean,
know.
what are they basing that on?
Yeah.
I think that statement actually reveals a lot about who they're targeting, right?
Okay.
They're going after those website owners, marketers,
Yeah.
who are familiar with, legitimate link building strategies
I
like
see.
guest posting,
Mm-hmm.
but they're looking for something,
More powerful.
more powerful, even if it means tiptoeing into that
A little riskier.
riskier territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're acknowledging that it's a step beyond
It is.
the white hat, but
But they're framing it as
they're framing it as
more advanced,
more advanced, more sophisticated.
more effective, yeah,
Right.
but riskier.
Yeah. And they also talk a lot about the health of their network.
Yeah.
And how stringent their selection process is.
Mm-hmm.
And they even say they reject websites with 0 traffic.
Oh, interesting.
Which, you think if you want as many links as possible, you take whatever you could get.
Take it all.
But they're like, no, we're not going to do that.
I mean, that's a clever marketing tactic, right?
Yeah.
By emphasizing the sites they reject, they're implying that the ones they accept are super high quality, trustworthy.
Like, we're the good guys.
Yeah, we're the good guys. But as always, you got to be discerning, right?
Right.
How are they defining high quality?
Yeah.
What metrics are they using?
Right. Yeah.
It makes you wonder if they're really vetting those sites as thoroughly as they claim.
Yeah.
Or if it's just about appearances.
Yeah. Smoke and mirrors.
Exactly.
Yeah. And another thing that I thought was interesting is they said they use over 10 different content management systems.
Huh. Interesting.
They're PBNs. Is that a big deal?
I mean, it's definitely a strategic move to address that common criticism of PBNs, which is, the lack of diversity.
Right.
If all the sites in a network look the same,
right,
use the same platform, same structure,
yeah,
it's easier for Google to be like, aha.
Gotcha.
You're busted. So by diversifying the technology,
okay,
they're trying to create a more, I guess, natural-looking.
Yeah, natural-looking network.
Yeah.
But is it enough?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Google is very smart.
Yeah.
It's a constant arms race between the SEOs and the search engines.
Yeah, and the search engines. It's like cat and mouse.
It is cat and mouse.
Yeah.
As Google gets better at detecting and penalizing, the SEOs are trying to,
find new ways, new loopholes, new ways to, stay ahead.
Right. And it brings up a fundamental point about SEO, right?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to trick Google all the time, wouldn't it be more effective to just focus on creating, really great content?
Right, yeah. Like actually valuable stuff.
Yeah, building real relationships, earning those links organically.
It takes longer,
It does take longer.
But it's
more sustainable.
More sustainable, yeah. It's like the tortoise and the hare, right?
It is. It's
slow and steady.
Slow and steady wins the race.
And it's less likely to be, get you
penalized.
Yeah. So, with all that in mind, what's the verdict
on PBNs?
Are they a good SEO strategy, or are they a ticking time bomb?
I mean, that's the thing. They're a gamble. They can work, but the risks are very real.
Yeah.
And as Google gets smarter, those risks are only going to increase.
Right. It's like playing Russian roulette with your website's ranking.
It is. You might get lucky for a while, but eventually the odds catch up.
The odds will catch up, So is it worth the risk?
That's the question, isn't it? I mean, especially when there are so many other ethical ways to improve your SEO.
More sustainable ways.
Very sustainable ways.
I think so.
So if you're considering PBNs, you got to weigh those potential benefits against the very real risks. And ask yourself, what's more important? A temporary boost or a sustainable, ethical online presence?
Because building a truly successful website, it takes time.
It does.
It takes effort.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a marathon.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, and it takes commitment to playing by the rules.
Exactly. And in the end, that's what sets you apart, right? From all the others who are cutting corners. You build something that lasts.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's about building something that lasts. Not just chasing after these quick fixes.
2 quick wins,
Yeah, that might backfire.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the risks and the allure of PBNs.
The 2 sides of the coin.
Yeah. But there's another aspect we haven't really touched on yet.
What's that?
Which is like the actual process.
Right.
Of building and maintaining a PBN.
Yeah.
And
that's messy.
It's complicated.
It's a lot.
Yeah, the article we have, it outlines all the steps.
Yeah.
And it sounds...
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah. Finding those expired domains with good authority.
Right. That's just the first step.
That's just the beginning.
Yeah. Then you got to set up the hosting, make sure the IPs are diversified.
Yeah.
Create unique content for each site.
It's a lot. And it's funny because PBNLinks.io, they kind of make it seem...
Oh, I bet they do.
Like, just buy links from us.
It's so easy.
It's an easy solution.
Yeah.
But building your own...
It's a whole different beast.
Like a whole different piece.
It really is. Yeah. It's like running a network of websites.
Yeah.
Each with its own set of needs.
Yeah. You got to be like
Gotta be on top of it.
On top of it.
Yeah, constantly monitoring, updating,
Right.
making sure they're staying under the radar.
Yeah. I mean, no wonder people are tempted to just
Take the shortcut.
take the shortcut.
Yeah, outsource
You know,
it.
and buy the links.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's tempting,
Yeah.
but it's important to remember that even with a service like PBNLinks,
Yeah.
you're still responsible
Let-
for what happens
Right.
to your website.
If Google penalizes you,
Exactly.
it doesn't matter.
Nope.
If you bought the links or you built them yourself.
It's your website.
Yeah.
They're coming after you.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can outsource the work,
Right.
but you can't outsource the risk.
Yeah, you're still the one holding the bag.
You're holding the bag.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, weigh those pros and cons carefully
Mm.
before you go down that road.
it's a decision
Not to be taken lightly.
not to be taken lightly.
Yeah.
It's like signing a contract
Oh,
without reading the fine print.
yeah.
You know, you could be in for
A nasty surprise.
a nasty surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dig into some of these details from PBNLinks
Okay.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
One thing they emphasize is their detailed reporting system.
Uh-huh.
You know, they give you
Transparency, yeah.
live links
They're showing you the goods.
to the PBNs.
Mhm.
So why is that important?
Transparency is key in any SEO endeavor, but especially
With something like this.
when you're dealing with something as potentially risky as PBNs. You want to see where your links are coming from,
Yeah.
verify those metrics,
Right.
make sure you're actually getting what you paid for.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like getting a receipt, right?
Yeah.
You want to know
Where your money's going.
what you're buying.
Exactly.
And that those links are actually live.
Live indexed by Google.
Right.
Because a link that doesn't exist
Right.
or isn't seen by search engines
Yeah.
is worthless.
It's like a roadmap to a dead end.
Exactly. It leads nowhere.
Yeah. And they also say
Yeah.
that they only allow one target link per PBN post.
Interesting.
Why is that?
What do you think?
I'm guessing it's to make it look more natural.
You got it.
Okay.
It's all about mimicking natural link building,
Okay.
right? Google doesn't like it
Yeah.
when a blog post is just stuffed with a bunch of links to
Yeah.
different websites.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to
It looks spammy.
cram too much into a suitcase.
It does. It does.
doesn't close, right?
It doesn't close, right? It looks
Yeah.
suspicious.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
by limiting the number of outbound links,
Right.
they're making those PBN sites look
Yeah.
more organic,
Yeah.
less.
Less manipulative.
They're trying to manipulate the rankings,
Right. Yeah.
which is what Google hates.
It's all about being subtle,
It is.
Yeah.
It's all about subtlety.
creating that illusion
Yeah.
of authenticity.
Authenticity, yeah. It's like being a spy.
Ooh.
Right.
Okay.
You want to blend in with the crowd.
Yeah.
You don't want to stand out like
Yeah.
a sore thumb.
Yeah. You want to be incognito.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to be incognito. And speaking of blending in,
Yeah.
they also mentioned that they don't accept websites with zero traffic.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, a website with zero traffic is like a ghost town.
It is a ghost town.
Yeah.
It's like nobody goes there.
Yeah.
Why would you link from there?
It doesn't have any.
It's worthless.
It doesn't have any weight. Yeah.
It carries no weight.
Yeah.
Google sees that.
Right.
And they're like, suspicious.
Suspicious. Yeah.
So they're trying to select those PBN sites.
That have at least some level
Yeah.
of legitimacy, right?
Yeah.
Like they're real websites.
Yeah. They're not just
real visitors.
Yeah, they're not just like
Not just some,
fake websites with no
fake.
one going to them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's all about finding that
balance.
balance
Yeah.
between
Effectiveness.
and risk.
You want the links to be
However,
but you don't want them to be so blatant
Right.
that they get you
penalized.
penalized.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a delicate dance
It's a delicate dance.
that PBN users are constantly trying to perfect.
Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up this section
Yeah.
on PBNs,
Yeah.
what's the takeaway message?
I think the takeaway here is that PBNs are
Yeah.
a high risk, high reward proposition.
Proposition, yeah.
They can work,
Right.
but they can also
Backfire.
backfire spectacularly.
Yeah.
And as Google gets smarter,
Those risks are only going to increase.
yeah,
It's like playing with fire.
you might get away with it for a little while,
You might.
but you're going to get burned.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So
It's about
making
different.
informed decisions.
Informed decisions about your SEO.
Don't be tempted by those quick fixes
Right.
that could ultimately harm your website.
Yeah.
So focus on
Yeah.
building a sustainable, ethical online presence.
That's the key.
That's the real path
Yeah.
to long-term success.
Like long-term success, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's about building a solid foundation.
It is.
That takes time. It takes effort.
It does.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
So before you even consider using PBNs, I would say, ask yourself, is it really worth the risk?
Yeah. Are there other, maybe safer strategies?
Safer strategies you could be using.
Yeah.
And what are your long-term goals?
Yeah. What are your long-term goals?
For your website.
For your website. Yeah.
Because in the end, it's not just about rankings. It's about building a brand, right?
Right.
Connecting with your audience.
Yeah.
Creating something that has real value.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. Okay. I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
For this
Deep dive.
deep dive on PBNs.
Yeah. It's been
fascinating.
fascinating.
A little scary.
A little scary.
Yeah, but I think...
A lot to think about.
Yeah, lots to think about.
For sure.
Yeah. So, for our listeners out there, remember, knowledge is power.
Do your research.
Make informed decisions
Yes.
that align with your
Long-term goals.
long-term goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay curious.
Stay curious.
Stay informed.
And
stay ahead of that SEO game.
yeah. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time
For another deep dive.
for another deep dive into the world of digital marketing.
All right, so we're back for the last part of our PBN deep dive,
Back for more.
and we've covered a lot.
Yeah, but I wanted to touch on just a couple more things from PBNLinks.
Yeah, what else caught your eye?
So they mentioned that their network is all hosted on premium servers
Okay.
with dedicated IP addresses.
Right.
So why is that so important then?
Well, it goes back to, trying to create that illusion of legitimacy, right?
Yeah.
Avoid those red flags that
Mhm.
Google's always looking for.
Yeah.
Because cheap hosting or
Wow.
shared IP addresses,
Yeah.
those are often associated with like
Bam.
spammy websites,
Yeah.
low quality stuff.
Okay, so it's kind of like you're trying to dress up
Yeah,
a beat-up old car
exactly.
to look like a luxury vehicle.
Put a new coat of paint on it.
Yeah, put some fancy rims on it.
But underneath, it's
Yeah.
still a clunker.
It's still a clunker, yeah.
And Google's getting pretty good at seeing through that.
At seeing through those disguises.
Yeah, exactly. So by using premium hosting
Okay.
and dedicated IPs, the PBN providers, they're trying to make their networks look like, a collection of legitimate,
Yeah.
independent websites.
Right. So they want to make it look like what a real website owner would do
Exactly.
if they were building out a network.
Organically. Yeah, like they had all these different websites
Right.
for different reasons.
Not just to manipulate lanes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it also speaks to the investment, right?
Sure.
Like PBNs, when done right,
Yeah.
they're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
So if a provider is cutting corners on hosting,
Yeah.
that's a red flag.
That's a big red flag.
Like, what else are they stimping on?
Right. And that takes us back to, like, doing your research.
Please do your research.
Vet those providers.
A provider you trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're considering using PBNs,
Yeah.
you have to be okay with the fact that it is a gray hat tactic.
Right.
And there's always a chance
Yeah.
that Google will catch on. Yeah.
And penalize you.
It's not a decision
It's not a light decision.
to take lightly.
Yeah.
No, it's like
Walking a tightrope.
walking a tightrope.
You might make it to the other side,
Yeah.
but there's a chance
You could fall.
you could fall.
And it's a long way down.
Yeah. It's all about weighing those rewards
Yeah.
against the consequences.
Right.
So,
Is it worth it?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess it depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on your situation.
Your goals.
Your goals, yeah.
Yeah, your risk tolerance.
Or risk tolerance.
But I think the biggest thing is
Yeah.
be informed.
Be informed.
Make a conscious choice.
Make a conscious choice, exactly.
Don't just stumble into it.
Yeah, stumble into the deep end and be like,
Oh, what's this?
whoops.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Not a good idea. So if you do decide to use PBNs,
Mm-hmm.
choose your provider wisely.
Monitor your results.
Right.
And be prepared to adapt.
Yeah, got it.
Because Google's always changing the game.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think that about covers it
yeah, I think we've covered a lot of ground here
for PBNs, yeah.
about PBNs.
We've explored, the potential benefits.
The risks.
The risks, the ethical considerations.
Importance of transparency.
The importance of making
informed decisions.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure
It's been great.
diving into this with you.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And hopefully everyone listening has found it
Informative.
informative and helpful.
And thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as always,
Stay curious.
stay informed.
Stay informed and
Stay ahead of that SEO game.
we'll see you.
We'll see you in the next deep dive.